Please welcome Vice President and General Manager, Oracle Advertising and CX, Oracle, Rob Tarkoff.
Okay, thanks everyone for being here at the absolute best session of all of CloudWorld. I'm telling you that right now. You'll tell me if I'm right. But we have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. Thank you again all for being here in person, braving the elements of Vegas. You know, smoke, secondhand smoke, over-oxygenation, spilled drinks, all that. But not in here. Here we're going to talk about sales and service. It's great to have all of you here. I just have to say that this is really exciting because for many years we've communicated with all of you over Zoom, and now we're in person, we're doing meetings. It's like just amazing to be back doing business again. So thank you for that, and excited to share with you what we're doing. So we're going to start with a little fun, because at this point in every conference you're thinking about taking a nap. I'm going to say no. We're going to instead go through one of my favorite traditions, which is Mythbusters. You guys remember that? Everybody seen that program? Yeah. So we're going to talk about a couple of modern day versions of that classic as it applies to several things that we've heard about CX in the last 90 days. So let's start with the first myth that we've heard out there. Well, connecting your customers' data, it's easy. It's just, you know, sprinkle a little pixie dust, rub the bottle, the genie pops out, whatever. Everything works that way to get your enterprise in working order. Well, we all know that's not true. Because if it were that easy, why would the integration space be a $25 billion industry that's grown almost 20% last year? It's hard work. We all know that. And there are people making a lot of money out there helping you connect all your different data sources because it's hard work. And it's a journey that we go on with you. We're going to talk a lot about how mastering your first-party data and putting your data at your fingertips to improve sales and service experience is really important for all of us. There's no magic genie that helps you do this. It's not helpful to make it sound like it's easy. We need to be very focused on capturing what our customer gives us throughout their life cycle so that we can use it to improve the experience. But it's also a challenge because the technology choices out there today are hard. Everything that is involved at all with first-party data is now a customer data platform, if you look at the websites of all those companies. But it's imperative that you take your time to really understand what do you want from a CDP, and how can that help you in sales and service to be better at guiding your reps towards what they need to do to close business faster, or helping your digital self-service interactions be more productive, or knowing how to get an agent to help better execute a field technician to go solve a customer problem. There's a lot of work to do to connect your broader data ecosystem. And we want to work with you on that. We want to help you think through that. We want to strategize. We want to get into the messy stuff that helps you build the kind of platform you need to get your business to the next level. Okay, so that's myth one. Myth two is that all that you have to do in CX is integrate marketing, sales, and service applications. That's all you need to do, and then you have true CX. The problem with this is, while that is a necessary part of building your platform, it's not sufficient. We all need to create cross-organizational visibility into our company. We know that. But what we don't focus on as much is about how to connect our business to our customers. That's why you go through the pain of connecting all the applications, so that the connection between how your business is changing and how your customer is changing is closer than ever. Let's talk about one big example that I think many of you are probably experiencing today in your own industry, which is a shift from transactional business models to recurring or subscription-based. As companies move to subscription business models, how you acquire, retain, and grow a customer changes fundamentally. And it doesn't just change for your front office personnel. Of course, your salespeople have to quote differently and forecast differently and think about net retention and all the metrics that go into running a subscription business. but it also changes in the back office, how you provision, how you bill, how you check entitlements. The competitive differentiation in a subscription model moves away from having the best product, and it becomes about providing the best service to your customer. Imagine today the different type of platform that you need to have when you build services like booking a car service appointment on demand, or selling aftermarket maintenance on top of your products, or subscription-based pest control for your home, something I recently invested in, or any of the ways in which businesses are transforming to ongoing recurring relationships. The customer experience in these cases has to go far beyond the marketing, selling, and service. It has to connect your business and the changes you're going through front to back to your customer and the way they want to consume and enjoy your product or service. Okay, myth number 3, CX is an application-centric initiative. The challenge is today that it's about a lot more than just improving the application surface area of your CX estate or adding different applications that do very specific micro tasks. The MarTech landscape alone has grown from like 150 vendors in 2011 to over 10,000 in 2022. So it can't just be adding point applications to change the trajectory of your customers. CX today is about data. It's a data-centric initiative, and we all know this, and we've been talking about it together. It's about orchestrating first-party data to the person who gets to your customer first, whether that's a sales professional, a service professional, a marketer, and being able to activate that data in new and different ways than we ever have before. And it's because customers expect us to be ahead of them. We all know that. They've gotten used, and we've all gotten used to in the consumer world. Uber knows our last destination, or Lyft, or any of the consumer services today. They know a lot about the history of what got us to that moment. And so all of our businesses have to be able to orchestrate data to the point of need. Wherever it is that you need to create a trigger for a next best action, or we have to provide an opportunity to educate a customer in new and different ways. Moving data at scale so you can unlock your customer experience is more than just adding applications. It's the engineering that goes behind building a data-first platform that can solve all your customer touch points across your entire business. And finally, the 4th myth is that best-of-breed point solutions rule. You know, well, there's always a startup that does one particular thing super well that you need to optimize around, and pretty soon that becomes 250 different solutions. The CX market has gotten super messy, and we see it today with the ask that we have about all the different companies we're asked to integrate with. And as CX technology is evolving, we see it becoming almost unmanageable because there's too many choices. And we think your sellers and your service people and your marketers agree with this. In a recent survey, almost 40% of sellers said they spend way too much time working in different technologies. And a third of your sellers said that there were too many manual tasks that keep them from selling. Too much integration with marketing systems and service systems. They just want the system to help them sell more. And that's what we're focused on. How can we help you sell and service better by enabling your frontline personnel to be better at their jobs? Best-of-breed systems and suites always rule, and particularly in periods of time where it gets messy, it gets complex, and you need to build something that can scale with your business. The reality is we think you should stop thinking about the functional tool set and instead look at the functional process. What does that mean? It means you need to start thinking about the end-to-end flows that happen between your business and your customer. You can have a suite that can be extensible, that you can add particular features to, but that help you orchestrate the data in ways that are easier to manage, less costly, and simpler for your customers to experience. Welcome to the future of CX. That's what this really is. It is about debunking these myths. It is about making it easier for you to implement and scale solutions, and it is about providing a better customer experience in the end across the entire life cycle. Let me be very clear. Despite some things that you might or might not have heard, we are 100% focused on the future of CX. And I'm excited to announce that we have built solutions that we're going to be showcasing you today that have engineered the marketing, sales, and service experience to not only connect to ERP, supply chain, and HR, but to develop one model, one schema, one customer focus, one deployment cycle, one implementation. So 3 main focus areas that we're going to share with you today. First, how you can use Fusion Sales to help your sellers sell more. It's not about forecasting. It's not about visibility for managers. It's about making your salespeople more productive. How do you modernize service delivery today when customers want to interact with you digitally, directly with agents? They want to have visibility into where their technician is if they have a particular service issue with an asset. How can we help modernize service delivery so you can have a consumer-like experience for every one of the problems your customers face? And finally, how do we help keep pace with your business change? As your business models change, you move to subscription, you add different product lines, you want to combine service and transactional-based SKUs. How do we help you modernize your business and improve customer experience at the same time, and not leave your customers behind in this process? Okay, we'll advance a little bit, if I can. There we are. So, at the heart of all of our I lost all my slides. At the heart, there we are. That was part of the presentation. I'm just trying to see. At the heart of our CX investment is our move to the Fusion platform for previously 14 different acquired CX products. Many of you have been with us for a long time, have pushed us to say, when are you going to unify all these solutions onto a common platform? Fusion and the unification of all these flows that we've been hard at work on for the past several years is what makes our CX solutions strategic. We've unified your first-party data. We've enabled end-to-end processes across marketing, sales, and service. We've aligned those with your back office process, your back office data, your back office applications. From 14 acquired companies to one Fusion promise. That's what makes CX now a strategic weapon for your business. And again, there we are. All of our CX apps are now not only unified on Fusion, but have been built with industry-specific end-to-end flows in mind. We leverage a common first-party data platform. We leverage a common set of UI components called Redwood, what you've seen. We leverage common OCI core services, machine learning, AI, and we've built specific flows for several industries, and we're building more across financial services, communications, utilities. The future of Fusion CX is not only the power of one platform, but the power of one platform for your industry. Every industry having a unique experience that helps you differentiate from your competitors. And it's also about building an ecosystem for ISVs and for other providers to be able to plug into the incredible benefits of operating on Fusion. The entire suite now has come together as one, and we're super excited to share with you what that can enable, and you're going to see some examples of that today in our demos. So let me talk about a couple of things, benefits that you get when you standardize on this newly unified front office Fusion platform. You get all the benefits of your common cloud infrastructure. You get unified security and management services. You get the consistency of deployment so you know when your upgrades are happening. when your downtime happens, when your scheduled maintenance is. And that's really important when operational complexity has significant consequences for your business. For example, if I'm a field technician and I get called to fix an MRI machine in a hospital, I need to have visibility into the inventory of what parts are needed to be able to fix that MRI machine. Because if it's down for maintenance or I can't log in, I need to know how to put that MRI machine back into action. That's an example of the consequence of not having operational alignment across all your core CX tasks. Fusion also enables a common reference data model. That allows us to set up your system once and to allow Fusion to do the rest, to orchestrate, again, the data to where you need it. If it needs to show up in different formats for different applications, Fusion does that for you. Having common reference data means your sales and service teams have the most up-to-date information at their fingertips when they need it. And finally, consistent user experience. And this is a big one. It's inevitable that when you buy 14 different companies, you're going to have different user experiences. And we've worked hard to unify that flow end-to-end across all of our applications so that it's consistent and easy to use and gets your sales and service professionals productive fast. And finally, Fusion brings you the benefits of being part of the broader Oracle ecosystem. Services like IoT and the AI models, analytics, the digital assistant, all the PaaS services are now available as part of a unified vision for what we're bringing to you and a unified platform that you can work with. When you make CX strategic, these are all the benefits that you get. And we like to think about this as unlocking the promise of the front office transformation to align with things that we had done in previous years with the back office, to help you improve sales, extend your service levels, transform your business, and delight your customers. All right, there's no better way to show this than to start looking at the products and the experiences that we provided. So I'd love to invite up to the stage our SVP of Sales and Service, Kartik Raghavan, who's going to be able to show you some of what you'll get with the new sales. Kartik.
Hi, folks. Thanks for being here. Good afternoon. So everything Rob spoke about, right? All the stuff about the Fusion platform, unified data built on the suite. This allows us to rethink how sales should be approached, what CRM should actually be. Now, CRM for too long has been a system that essentially is used to manage salespeople. It's a place where salespeople are sort of forced to give information about what they've done so that the managers can know about all of that and do forecasting. I mean, that's what it's been used for. There's an opportunity for us to make sales into an actual system that helps them sell. That means you can orchestrate the entire sales process, guide them along, give them the right data at the right moment. So it's a real opportunity to do this the right way now. So let's take a look at how we do this. So here's a conversation-ready opportunity. This has been received from Fusion Marketing. Right off the bat, you can see that on the left, we are starting to give the user some guidance on what they can do next. Where did this opportunity actually come from? Why is it over here? And as I can actually scroll through this whole thing and see a bunch of other pieces of information about this opportunity. Now, obviously, this is new, so it's kind of basic at this point. But let me situate myself about this. What do I know about this customer to begin? So let's drill into Redline Hosting, the customer. And now you see the power of Fusion starting to really come through, right? I mean, on the left, we have guidance coming from Unity about sort of overall insights about the account. You have information coming from the true Fusion. You can see what their subscriptions are, projects coming from ERP. You can start to look at what invoices have been sent to them, the company hierarchy, that how they are organized, contacts we know over there. And as you go deeper, like what assets do they own? What service requests may they have filed? I mean, all of this stuff gives the sales rep perfect context to be able to go in and start having this conversation, right? So let's go back to the opportunity. So the guidance is that I should call this customer now. So let's go ahead and call the customer. So we are obviously integrated into numerous CTI vendors out there, so you can place the call from within the application, as you would expect. But then, as I'm having the conversation, I can essentially start taking notes in the system, and put in whatever is being said in the meeting, capture all of that right there, and then when I finish that and I come back, what we've done is the natural language processing essentially read the notes, taken the words that were written, and translated them into real actions that can be taken now. So that's like true orchestration, right? So this kind of like an orchestrated process, like where you go in next and you immediately start doing the next thing and not have to worry about what is the next step that I have to do. All of this is essentially in our sales orchestration. This is coming out with our 22D release, which is now out in the fleet. So let's go further, right? I'm going to go ahead and create the appointment that I'd asked, that the system asked me to go create, because that's a note that I had taken. Let me go and write down, and I'll accept all the defaults that the system gave me because it read my notes. It knows what the actual data was accurately. I go ahead and create that appointment, and now that essentially now I can go back to the opportunity and now have all of that set up. And as I do that, engagement now, it continues further forward. Now the guidance is giving me the next step I should be taking seamlessly in the application, right? So now let me do this next, right? I'm going to go create a digital sales room. A digital sales room is essentially a collaborative space for customers to self-serve, gather information about like what they're going to buy. It's also a place for us to communicate the quotes, the deal criteria, et cetera, so they can collaborate with each other, and also a place to sort of gather their feedback. So it's a very good collaborative space to go make. I do it in a very conversational way by simply typing in, I want to create a digital sales room, get taken to that screen now. So again, put in the name of the digital sales room that I want to go create. Once I do that, I start selecting the content. Now, this is the same content system that's used in Fusion Marketing as well. This is like a common content management system of Fusion. But now it's recommending the content which is appropriate to this stage in the sales process, right? So you go select the right content, make sure I invite the right contact at the customer site to this digital sales room, and then select the right email template I want to use, and then put together, basically I do a quick review of how this looks, and I go ahead and then create that digital sales room, right? So now, when I go back to the opportunity now, we see that we have now taken this whole thing forward, right? I mean, everything is, the system keeps track of everything that you're doing. It automatically updates the activities. It's not forcing you to sort of go in and enter data after the fact. A clean orchestrated system. Now, assume that time has passed now, and it's been like it's time for that meeting to actually occur. So let's go ahead and start that meeting. Obviously, we integrate into Zoom and Microsoft Teams and all of that stuff, so you can start the meeting from in place. But here's another example of orchestration in play. It's putting up what the talking points should be. And beyond that, it also allows you to capture what the customer's reaction to those talking points might be. So it's kind of capturing all of that stuff as well. That obviously helps us further fine-tune what's going to happen next. So let's go ahead and close that out. Keep moving forward. So all of data has been captured, and now you start to see it's telling me to start reviewing a quote. Now, this is really cool. The system has essentially auto-generated a quote using our automated proposal generation and quote generation capabilities. And now I have a quote that's built out based on the information that I already know as a starting point for the rep to go in. Again, here we are pulling in data from incentive compensation, putting that into the quote screen directly, so you can incent the rep to do the right things that the company wants them to do, right? And so it tells them how much money they'll make by sort of taking certain actions. It's giving you recommendations to upsell a product, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'll go ahead and select that, upsell the product. It's telling me that that we need to change the discount percentage in order to have a better probability of winning. So let's go ahead and do that. So we apply the optimal discount. All throughout, it's giving him visibility into how much money they're likely going to make, so still incentive compensation in play. And essentially, you can do that, publish it over into the digital sales room, and once you've done all that, you come back into the into the opportunity, and now everything has moved forward, right? So this is the future of sales. Right? This is how it should be done, because everything is orchestrated, everything is clean, the right data is at the right time, reps not being forced to enter a whole bunch of stuff. So what you saw me do, go through like 2 or 3 stages of a sales opportunity, do a bunch of different steps, lots of screens, lots of interaction, but I didn't enter a lot of data. It was a system sort of guided me through it. It was intuitive, it was in a beautiful UI. So this is what we think sales should be. Now let's bring Jeff on board to tell you how this flows into service. Welcome, Jeff.
Oh, service. So that was pretty cool what Kartik showed, huh? Well, guess what? After a product is sold through these amazing engineered selling experiences, there may be times, however unlikely, that that product may not operate to spec. In those situations, we got to send somebody out to fix it and get it back up and running to preserve the customer experience. But remember what Rob talked about. This is about end-to-end flow. So I just don't want to show a service rep engaging. I want to show someone engaging, somebody going out and fixing the product. And you're like, what? That's going to be a long demo. In about 6 minutes. Do you think I can pull it off? All right, I'm glad you're confident because it hasn't happened yet. But let's go. So, our hero, Jack Richardson, he has purchased solar panels from Supremo Power, and all of a sudden they aren't charging the battery. We don't wait for Jack to notice that the panels aren't working. Through the wonders of Oracle IoT Cloud, we will find that fault, but we'll let him note, hey, something's not working right. We're on it. Don't worry about it. But if you have any questions, you can click on one of these fantastic links that we have sent you. He says, all right, well, the first time I've ever had this happen, so let's go fire it off here. And he goes to this beautiful support portal where he can see every product he owns, every service request he has open, all his past requests. He is presented with really cool knowledge articles because he's a young guy who likes to self-service everything. He can engage with the live chat support. You guys are like, that's great, Jeff, but we've seen a lot of service portals. We're on them every day. Well, guess what? It's not so much this portal, it's how it was built. If he goes on here and submits service requests, he's going to find that thing that came in through IoT, and he can go investigate the service request. But this was completely constructed with Oracle Visual Builder Design Studio by 2 people in a couple of hours. If they can do it, we all can do it. Jack is going to click on the service request, and he's going to go in and see, oh, here's what's going on. This is the part that failed. It's scheduled for repair. It came in through IoT, and it's already been assigned to an agent named Alex Cooper. If he wanted to get involved, send some notes, send some pictures, he could do that. But again, this whole thing can be created because we have to have these flexible platforms. You got to constantly adjust. All your service and support processes will develop agilely, and we can enable that with our product. But let's go and see what our agent sees. Alex Cooper. This is the new Fusion service. Redwood experience. It doesn't look like a service console because just like Kartik was saying, we're only presenting the relevant information. He can go through here, he sees the problem. If he clicks on View Activities, he's going to go and he's going to see a complete conversational history of anything that's happened around this particular service request. If there was somebody else working on it, if the sales guy was involved, he just scrolls through and he's caught up instantly. But even more importantly, dude, we're rocking here. All of you out in TV land, I might hit this. You see that yellow block? That is a knowledge article that has been selected for him. And if he clicks on that knowledge article, this is going to tell him exactly how to fix this problem. He's going to go in there. It's going to say, hey, guys, you got to order a replacement part, and you have to have that installed by a professional. This is all included in the Fusion Service product. So he's like, you know what? I might just go ahead and do that. So then he goes and he clicks Create Work Order on that home page, and now he can go in, and he's got a real-time feed into the field service organization. He can see when they're available, see when they're booked. Anything blue, if he clicks on it, will break the SLA with the customer because this is completely integrated with the Sales Cloud that you just saw. But now he's got to order parts. Remember, that's what the knowledge article said. So let's go in and order some parts for our friend here. He's going to go down here to Manage Parts. And now he's in the supply chain. All right? Everybody, this is not an integration with supply chain, not a sub-account with supply chain. This is the actual supply chain. If he sees it in here when he searches the part, that is the real-time inventory. When he reserves that part, that's instantly removed from the supply chain. Everything is reconciled immediately. If that customer was entitled to a discount on parts, that would automatically be tabulated because everything is in this one amazing, beautiful, unified platform. I am so far out of service right now, guys, and I'm the service guy. But now that we actually have the work order, the parts, the schedule all put in place, let's go back and see what Jack has seen. Upcoming visit, he got an alert that said, hey, that ticket's moving. Now he's clicking into his portal, and now he's seeing the Oracle Where's My Tech solution. He could cancel it, he could reschedule it if it wasn't a good time, but a gentleman named Antoine is currently speeding to go fix that solar panel, and because we're limited on time, Antoine is really, really speeding here, breaking all traffic laws, the greatest field service technician since the Domino's Pizza 30 minutes or it's free deal. And when he gets on site, we're going to go in to see him. All right, Antoine, you're almost there, buddy. Come on in. See, I'm doing pretty good here, huh? This is pretty complex. All right, Antoine's on site. And now this is what the field tech sees. He starts his job. He sees all the information that Alex saw, that Jack saw. He goes in, he can start to set his costs. Maybe he's driving his own vehicle and needs to put in the odometer. Remember when we ordered that part? Well, guess what? There it is. The part has been shipped to the location. He goes, finds it, he begins his repair. He's going to add that part into this. The minute he does that, all the asset records are showing that, hey, this customer now has this part installed. He's going to take back the other one, bring it back in, send it up through the RMA process. This is completely seamless with your supply chain. Once that is all reconciled, he goes in, he's talking to the customer, and he's just going to have him sign the expenses, the financials, the parts, the asset record for the customer, all the history of all the interactions are all tied off instantly the minute he hits submit. And then he can just go ahead. Jack can come in. His appointment's done, and he can rate Antoine 5 stars. That was pretty good, huh? Fast. What did you all just see? I told you, we're going to show you in a unified platform with service how we proactively identify issues for our customer. How when the agents pick it up, they are intelligently guided. We're only displaying the information that they want to see at that particular moment. They have real-time feeds into their field service organization, into their supply chain, into billing, into any back office process you want. And then the customer gets to ride along on the entire process as that service ticket moved its way across the enterprise. They got to see everything. That's the power of a unified platform. That is what we can do end to end. That is service. So, hope you guys liked it. I'm about to pass out because that was a lot. But I think you'd like to hear from somebody that is an Oracle. So guess what? You stick around for this next bit. We got a real treat for you. VP of Outbound Product Management, Katrina Gosek, is going to come up here, and she's got some really cool friends with her. Are you ready, Katrina? All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. This session has been spectacular so far, but now you're in, I think, for the best part, a conversation with two of our leading customers, Nik from one of our coolest companies, Razer, and Cristian from one of our most complex customers, Vertiv. So please welcome them. Give them a warm welcome. And before we jump in, I actually wanted to point out a couple of things. You actually have some great CX leaders here on the stage to tell their stories to you, but we also have 2 award-winning customers with us here today. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Cristian, for winning the Marquee Award for Futurist. So we're looking forward to hearing about how you did that exactly.
Thank you very much.
And Nik, congratulations on winning the Laptop Magazine 2022 award for, what was it, Tech Support Showdown.
Thank you.
Razer beat out Apple, Lenovo, HP, some pretty big players, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so let's jump in. So I'm going to start off by asking both of you just to tell us a little bit about your company and your role in the company. So Cristian, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Thank you, Katrina. As you can pick immediately from my accent, I'm Italian, and I came all the way from Venice to the Venetian just to take a gondola ride. So that's what I did. As Katrina mentioned, I'm the CIO for Vertiv in EMEA, and I also have global responsibilities for customers, partner, and employee technology. Vertiv is a relatively young company, but it came together from a spin-off. So we have a long legacy and long history. And we got quoted to the New York Stock Exchange in February 2020. We are a global leaders in designing, manufacturing, and servicing mission-critical infrastructure for IT networks, from the cloud to the edge. We have a global presence, and we have global manufacturing capabilities, and we are able to serve our customer wherever they are.
Awesome. Thank you, Cristian. And Nik, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and your role at Razer?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Katrina. So yeah, I'm a senior manager over at Razer. Razer is a leading lifestyle brand for gamers. So for those of you who game, you guys are probably familiar with the name. So my role at Razer is really to manage the customer experience through digital services, such as a support site, knowledge base, ODA, and all the self-service tools that we have behind the support site. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's jump in. How about we get into the deeper questions and learn how you both won those awards. So, Cristian, Vertiv is a very complex B2B global company, and you've got multiple customer segments you serve. Can you tell us a little bit about how you've recently made the experience easier for your customers and how you've built the strategy for that?
Sure. What we see in our market is that the customer are very dynamic, and our CX experience and strategy needs to be fluid because we have these ever-changing customer requirement and market needs. Buyers' decisions are not only made on product, so it's not anymore enough having the best product in the market. The buyer decision comes from the overall experience, and that is what is driving most of the decision for that people. So if there is a piece of advice I can give to my peers here in the audience, is really to think about taking the advantage and the benefit from the cloud platform to being able to have your strategy being dynamic and being able to address those ever-changing customer needs. That will be my advice to you.
Awesome. So customer experience is obviously top of mind, but can you talk a little bit about also some of the challenges your sales team has faced, in particular with some of the supply chain issues that your company's been facing?
Sure. In order to help your sellers, you first of all need to understand your buyers. You need to understand what they want. And what we have seen during the pandemic is that there has been an acceleration on having less B2B interaction through a human touch point. For example, our buyers couldn't visit our customer experience centers for a couple of years, during the pandemic. We all been stranded home, so they. And what we had to do was to accelerate bringing to our sellers some of the capabilities to replace some of those direct human touch points. And we implemented functionalities like augmented reality, virtual reality. So wherever we were not able to take the customers to visit our customer experience center, we were able to take the customer experience center to them. We recently had an executive of one of our large customers that came to us and said, the ability to perform a witness test of your product remotely actually accelerated the sales by several months. And this goes beyond just the pandemic time. That will be something that will stick with us. There will be less, travel happening, and also, bringing different stakeholders to the table all at the same time is difficult. So if you are able to extend that experience and that engagement throughout technology, then you are able to accelerate your business. You also mentioned, Katrina, about the supply chain challenges. I believe that as a manufacturing company, and many of you in the manufacturing space, we've been hit very significantly. But 3 things that we've been able to do. Number one is we've been working even more closely to our customer to being able to capture the demand. And all those signals, to being able to start the procurement processes. And then take all those signals, those demands, through our engineering team. As you said, we are a complex manufacturing company. We have complex product that we make and solution. So being able to inject to our engineering team all the demand ahead of the time and being able for them to recast and change some of the parts when there are part shortages has been able to to make us winning in the market.
Awesome, thank you so much. Sounds like a lot going on at Vertiv the last couple of years. So, Nik, let's turn to you. Razer's also been undergoing a lot of change in the last few years, and you've been really honing in on your digital-first strategy. Can you talk us through a little bit about what you've been focused on and how you put that strategy together?
Yeah, sure. So about 3 years ago when we started, all we had was just a static website, support site. And so we partnered with Oracle, to make sure that we can actually have a much better self-service rate. And so with that, we actually implemented a knowledge-based system, started with ODA, and have more self-service tools. And initially our target was only to hit like 25% deflection rate, just so that we can cut down on costs. But we hit 35%, and even up to 40% up to September. So all of these has, in addition to reducing costs, we've seen improving agent productivity. Right? So to us, digital first really means helping the customers help themselves through using technology, and in a way providing a much better and customer experience.
Yeah, 40% call deflection rate. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, that's mostly through ODA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how the agent experience has changed through that. Like how is deflecting those calls and using digital assistant affected your actual agent's experience?
Yeah, so in addition to just the deflection part of it, we also collect enough data so that when agents respond to our customers, they are more intelligent in their responses, number one. Also, they're more effective. We've been able to reduce our, what we call a case interaction time. Mm-hmm. So usually when a case was created, it would take us 5 emails outgoing to close out the case. But then when we implemented ODA, for example, that was cut down by 60%. We only had to send out 2 emails to close out the case.
Wow.
Our chat hand time was reduced by an average of 2 minutes per session. And then also at the same time, agent productivity increased tremendously.
Yeah, I know that's not an easy job, so anything you can do to improve the agent experience is, I'm sure, welcome by your employees, so that's great.
Absolutely.
All right, Cristian, back to you. We've talked a lot about the connection between front and back office in today's session. Can you tell us a little bit about how Vertiv is leveraging ERP and CX together and optimizing those flows between the systems?
Sure. At the end of the day, we are a manufacturing company, so we produce boxes. And providing our customer with a frictionless experience during the whole phases, from design to the selling process to the installation, and even after installation during the maintenance is critically important to influence that experience. And what do you need? You need a strong connection between your CX and your back offices. That's why we continue connecting the dots from our front-end system to our back-end system. As you all know, the ERP is not sexy, for marketers or for sellers, but it's definitely a vital component because it provides you all those information, all those data points that can be used by your marketers, by your sellers, by your service agents to influence the customer experience. There is a wealth of information in your ERP, and you need to connect the dots to it.
Awesome, thank you. There's definitely CX definitely enhances the experience of the ERP for sure. So let's actually talk about, Nik, how your partnership has been with Oracle. You have a really interesting story there, I think. Can you talk a little bit about how we worked together to help you meet your goals?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we were looking to migrate from our previous vendor, we talked to several vendors, but many of us on the team have already had experience with Oracle in the past. And when we talked to them, we felt that Oracle was just the right business tool for our use case, and also we felt that there was the right partnership based on the past relationships. And it works really well. We look at Oracle as an extension of Razer in terms of they're more of our consultants on the back end to help us go through all the technical hurdles that we had to face, while we manage all the business side of it. Whenever we come upon any technical hurdles, they're right there to support us and also guide us in terms of any updates that are upcoming, so that we can develop and actually go to market faster with some of the tools that we wanted to roll out.
Fantastic. Well, I know both of you have been great partners for Oracle and the product team, so thank you. Thank you for that. And sadly, we've come to the end of our discussion today, so I only have one final question for each of you, which is, what's next? You've already built such award-winning experiences leveraging Oracle products. What's next for you? Nik, let's actually start with you.
Yeah, so we're looking to expand on ODA. So we're going to add more self-service tools within ODA. So currently, some of the services we have on our support side are not available, and so we actually redirect customers to our support side. Ideally, we want to keep the customers engaged in our chat, right, within ODA, and so we're going to build more self-service tools. Second, we're looking at integrate, ODA with our IVR, so that ideally when you call in, instead of having to be, listen to music and wait, you can actually chat with our virtual assistant while you're waiting in queue, so that by the time you get to an agent, the agent, hopefully you get your answer by then and go away. If not, then at least that you have some knowledge, and then also the agent will have some information in terms of what's been presented to you.
Great. So coming full circle, kind of like the experience
Exactly.
that Jeff showed, giving everybody visibility to the whole process. That's great.
Right.
So Cristian, how about you? What's next for Vertiv? What do you have in your plans?
So if there is one thing that we learned during the pandemic is that even in the B2B market, the buyers expect a consumer-grade experience. And what we are working on is providing that consumer-grade experience through conversational AI capabilities, through self-service, through personalized experience, and even continuing expanding what we call our extended reality platform, so to bring more of those immersive experience and engaging experience to our customer. So our mantra became, that we need to check if what we do is having a consumer-grade experience, then we are in the right direction.
Fantastic. Okay, well, please, that concludes our discussion for today. Please help me thank Cristian and Nik for their participation today. And thank you very much for joining us today. We have many more great sessions today and tomorrow. If you want to see more great demos, definitely go check out our end-to-end marketing, sales, and service demo in the hub. And we've got some great sessions planned for you for the rest of the day, but enjoy the concert tonight, and thank you all very much for joining us today.